when you had a computer inside a large room, how are you going to hack into other localities? So you see how the academics have found a way to simplify most of all these technologies and systems in order for the general public to utilize it. This does not mean that the academic field or sector doesn't have value. It just means that people in the academia need to find ways to fixing themselves to be relevant in the industry at present. Depending on the industry that you work in, more often than not, a lot of engineers do not know their actual career path. Only a few people from a young age in life know directly where they want to go to in life. And for a lot of people, it's not really defined. So you actually have to find your way, even in your daily engagements. In this video, we are going to look at an analysis of career paths for engineers, how it can actually be created for those who don't understand and for those who know, to properly define it and be certain of that career path. Hi there, and welcome to Catchment of Resources. In this video, we are going to be looking at career paths for engineers. The engineers we are looking at are engineers from all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are from. So you could be engineers from Nigeria, the US, Asia, or wherever in the world. But this is for engineers in particular because it seems like this field of engineering may be having some contradictions from time to time. So this video series I'm doing in order to shine a light in the path for engineers to understand, especially the young engineers, for them to understand that there is a purpose for which they are required in society. A lot of the time there's people saying that education is a scam, there's no point of education, the education system has failed. They say that people are going to school but there are no jobs. I want us to see education from a different angle. Someone going to university for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years and getting a certificate. That certificate should actually mean that they are ready to begin training themselves, exposing themselves to knowledge and experiences in that area that they have been certified for. Not that they are coming out as being masters of the field they are going into. So it means that they are going to dedicate themselves into that profession. Not everything ends up as being a job. Sometimes people can become contractors. You can become a contractor. You can become a trainer. You know, most times we have people they go to school, or from young age, maybe you go to high school, university, you have people lecturing one subject. But there's a higher level of lecturers and teachers. That higher level of lecturers and teachers are the people who are going to train the professionals of industry practices. I'll say that again, there are different levels of teachers. There are teachers in schools, from primary school, high school, university. You have teachers, you have lecturers. There's another level of teachers who are just the external trainers. Maybe they train you on a particular subject area, a software or whatever. There's another level of trainers, which is the level of people who train others in the industry. That is industrial knowledge or specific sectors, the knowledge area in those specific sectors that only people who know and work in those sectors are privy to. So you're not talking of industry trade secrets. So that level of trainers are the ones who are now going to be teaching people. So it's not everything that you say you study a particular course, you have to look for a job or you have to look for a contract. There are multiple levels within which someone can fix themselves in order to be active as an engineer. I tell you, even all this that they say education is a scam, they say the curriculum has failed. In all of this, they are not telling you, they are missing the point, because a lot of things in society are being generated and created by those who were actually the pioneers of education. Yeah, they will tell you that there are some computer programmers, software developers that they don't really need a certificate to do what they do. But let me tell you, the people who started all the programming and all the documentation were people who has educational background. They've documented all these things and they've simplified it up to the point where someone who doesn't really have a university education, or maybe someone in high school, a 13-year-old can easily engage with all these softwares or program or knowledge areas and be good at it within a few weeks or months is because the educational people, the academics, have simplified these knowledge areas, documented it in a way that is simple for everybody else. We come to them, we say we are using a laptop, we are hacking into a mainframe system. What of if when you had a computer inside a large room, how are you going to hack into other localities? So you see how the academics have found a way to simplify most of all these technologies and systems in order for the general public to utilize it. This does not mean that the academic field or sector doesn't have value. It just means that people in the academia need to find ways to fixing themselves to be relevant in the industry at present. So when you are talking of a career path for engineers, in most cases you are talking of how are you going to create skills that will direct you in a certain profession. So basically for engineers, you can have chemical engineers, civil engineers, electrical, systems engineers. Within this, that's at first degree. Within this, you could also have probably aeronautics, you can have pipeline engineers and the likes in first degree. But as you progress on, there are other professions that people take up. Depends on your own area of specialty. If you specialize on, let's say, a technical area, which is like a beginning of engineering. Let's say, for example, you want to specialize in chemical engineering. If you focus on that area for so many years, at some point they will make you a senior chemical engineer or process engineer. Gradually, they will change your designation to something else. But if your career path is going towards a multidisciplinary engineering approach, implementation of projects, supervision, then you're now talking of a project engineer, a project manager, a facility engineer. You know, facility engineering is an evolving profession for engineers. It's also multidisciplinary. It's similar to project engineer, but facility engineering is broader than project engineering. So if you follow your career, because although project manager, you don't necessarily have to be an engineer, but I've listed it as some of the paths that an engineer has to follow. So if you graduate from a course, a primary course in engineering, at least the first 5 years, you should understand the length and breadth and depth of that your field of engineering for that 5 years before you now say, okay, let me branch out to other areas so that you have a solid foundation. For some people, it could be less than 5 years, but I'm just saying 5 years is a good number before you begin to gradually understand other knowledge areas of engineering, other fields. It's funny how during first degree, a lot of engineers, whether you're a chemical engineer, you'll be taught some amount of civil engineering or mechanical engineering or electrical during the first few years of studying chemical engineering. Then once you graduate, you say you are a chemical engineer and you focus on just chemical engineering. So whose fault is that? Is that the academic system's fault that people come out of the university and all they focus on is their own professional field? Because during their first degree, they were taught other areas of engineering. Although in subsequent years, they now specialize on the primary field of engineering of interest. So you see that the university, the academic system has created a platform for people to understand, you need to know this, you need to know this, you need to know that. Maybe it's because it has become so monotonous that there is no induction, or people don't attend the induction, because every university does an induction ceremony. So maybe people don't attend the induction. Maybe they feel it's boring the first few days in the university. Probably they would have heard the purpose of why the engineering curriculum is the way it is. So I'm saying this now because we are not built as an engineer to focus on one primary field. If you are going to grow in your career, yes, at some point you will need to branch out, but initially you will be in your own field. But if you are getting to a certain age where you are going to be a manager, that's where you will now be sent for a management course, how to manage people. They will now be teaching you other knowledge areas because you have not done it yourself to train yourself in other engineering fields aside your specialty or aside your own profession. And you cannot work as a specialty engineer all of your life. At some point, you are going to manage younger engineers, students, and probably companies as well. So you need to have other skills that are required, which is why I say the engineering curriculum has been on point from the beginning, but we have forgotten the purpose behind why it was created the way it was. Furthermore, we may feel that the academic curriculum is obsolete. Yes, I understand to a certain point, but you can't sit back and wait for a review of the education system all around the world. You can actually do it yourself because you understand the fabrics, you understand the building blocks of the education system that will help you to then create your own curriculum and build yourself as an engineer. So typically it will take like 5 to 10 years from graduation for someone to develop their skills and say they want to branch out from just one specialty engineering to multiple engineering, to say they want to take up engineering roles as a multidisciplinary engineer. So probably you become a project engineer, a project manager, a technical manager, and the likes. So you see that after 5 years, you should have integrated with all of these engineering fields in order to build a career. Because if you are going up to the point of head of engineering manager, you need multiple technical fields. And science is just one profession that you studied at first degree. So this video was a brief look at career paths for engineers, for which everyone can define their own career path. There are some people who already know their career path right from when they were young, but not everybody knows it. Some people can actually unravel it like an onion every day as they experience new environments, gain new skills. They are able to now define a career path from them, or probably from a burning desire. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching this video. This is Catherine of Resources, where we create for better living.